welcome to the Nordic Stitches YouTube podcast, episode number 3. I am Lilli and I am a knitwear pattern designer coming to you from central Norway, where I currently live in a temporary house before later this year hopefully moving on to a new place. You can find me in various social media as Nordic Stitches. Everything is linked down below, including timestamps and links to everything I talk about in this episode. At first, I want to talk about a little administrative things. The Summer Shorties Suck Club Knit Along has been extended out August, giving those of you who, have a lot of projects going or haven't gotten started yet, have a chance to finish. There's 4 main pairs you need to finish, and they are shorties, so they don't take as much time as regular socks. There's still plenty of time. And there's a chatter thread, there is a finished object thread, and I will be drawing one prize from either of those threads. There is an announcement as well today. I will be doing Vlogmas in July. So I was playing around with this idea in my head, and I asked my friend over at Kim Smith Happy and Alternate Universe if she would like to join me in making this a new thing. Well, hopefully a new thing. Not a lot of people feel they have the time to make a vlog every day during Vlogmas in December. And since Christmas in July is a thing, why not make it a thing to have Vlogmas in July? So I will be vlogging every day throughout July, unless of course something extraordinary happens, but that's what you can expect. And there won't be too much personal in this vlog series this time, just because there's a lot of things going on personally that I will be getting back to in the end of the episode. But there will be heavy crafting content, so basically it's just vlogging what I do crafts wise every day. Spinning, knitting, crocheting. I will be getting back to that as well. I may have startitis going on, or castonitis, or whatever you want to call it these days. And there's a car coming, so we're just gonna wait for that to pass. So yeah, there will be heavy craft related vlogs every day in July. I am releasing 2 new patterns July 1st. The one pattern is a sock pattern that is going to be kept secret up until July 1st Oslo time. I will probably publish at midnight my time. The second pattern is a shawl that I teased you a little bit about last episode, and it's a design made in memory of my late grandmother. She died before I was born from colon cancer, and the idea of this shawl popped into my head about 4 years ago, and it's just now finished. It has been tech edited, it's ready to go, and I have dropped teaser pictures of it on Instagram, and in case you missed it, this is what it looks like. It is a modular shawl. You start with the mitered square and you pick up stitches for the next sections. I don't recommend using smaller than 3.5 needles, and this is included in the pattern, but you can go up, I would say probably 5.5. There is lace in the shawl, so I wouldn't go higher than that, just because lace in thicker needles, wow. But yeah, so you can adjust what yarn and needles you want based on that, because the last section of the part of the shawl is this border at the edge where you have the leaves going down and the garter section. I do include in the pattern 2 different ways you can make this edge, just so you can personalize it. There's a bumblebee coming. Here's some flowers for you. Be my guest. Right there. Come on. That's yarn. That's me. That's the flower. That's flowers. Come on. Come on. Really? Anyway, the shawl. I don't think I'm gonna edit out that. Real life. I absolutely loved making the shawl, as I said, from the beginning to end. It took 4 years. It hasn't been 4 years of knitting and ripping back and knitting and ripping back. It's been 4 years of playing around with the idea in my mind, having it put on the side because of personal issues, picking it back up in the mind, working a little bit on the design, putting it back on hold because of personal issues. It's been 4 very crappy years, so that's the story there. But it's now finished, and I love this design so much. In fact, I love it so much that I am planning a third shawl in these 2 colors. A viewer gifted me some linen, I think it's linen cotton blends. I think it's knit picks, and the details will be in the description box below. It's these 2 colors. And yeah, as you can see, this one is 1 color. This is knit in, the design is called, if you didn't watch and haven't seen the teasers, the shawl is called Grandma's or Granny's Geraniums, because, as I said, it's made in memory of my late grandmother, who died from colon cancer, and one of her favorite flowers was geraniums. This is knit in a Homespun House Yarns Grandma's Seuss Geraniums colorway. Can you believe that perfect fit? Can you handle it? And when I found this yarn, I messaged Molly. Well, the first thing I did was, just grabbed a hank, put it in the cart, and ordered it. And then I messaged Molly and told her about my plans for the design and how fitting it was that she had a yarn called Grandma's Seuss Geraniums. And Molly was sweet enough to include an extra hank of yarn, so the entirety of my first version of the shawl is knit up purely in that yarn, which is pretty awesome. And the second version is knit up in 3 different yarns. The first one here is this is gonna be exciting. Big Sugar Yarns Ice Cream Parlor. This was a gift from Ali of Little Drops of Wonderful for my birthday, and I knit a pair of socks of that. And this right here is yarn that I bought for this section right here. It's Love Story colorway, a Homespun House Yarns single ply. And I have to say, single ply in lace, wow. And of course the garbage truck is coming. Rush hour. Like I was saying, I love single ply yarn for lace. Yeah. And for the border that starts here, so basically you knit this mitered square and these 2, and then you pick up stitches all the way across to make the last border. So the 16 leaves you're seeing go, like that, are knit in, hey, the bumblebee attack today. Bumblebee intervention. Anyway, I forgot to sew in an end. Anyway, rambling on now. These leaves are knit in a 3rd color, Tommy V colors. Probably butchering that. I don't remember the name of the colorway, but it is included in my pattern, in my project page that I've uploaded on Ravelry. And what I did from here and down, as you can see, this border is different from the other because I have slip stitches going down here, but not here. Down here. So, and I include in the pattern how you can do that in case you don't know. But for this section from here and down, you can see there's some turquoise in there. I used the rest of this Big Sugar yarn and striped every other stripe down with this 3rd color, giving it a completely different look. It's a very easy design to play around with in regards to going absolutely crazy with colors. I think my limit is 3 colors. Also worth mentioning, in case you don't know, 50% of the proceeds from the sale of this pattern, from its release July 1st out 2018 up until midnight into the January 1st, into January 1st, will be donated to cancer research. So if you should choose to purchase this pattern, you're not just purchasing a pattern, you're also supporting a very important cause. Yeah, and the money will be donated to cancer research here in Norway in the name of my grandmother, with your help. If you want to know when this design goes live, please send me, and I will specify this. Send me a Ravelry message with your email address. People overlook this, even though I specify it, and I don't say that to be rude. It's just that people seem a little stressed sometimes. So breathe and read the information, because it's not difficult. It is right there. And the reason it's said like that is because Instagram and Ravelry does not allow me to send bulk messages. So if 100 people want to know when this goes live, I will have to send 100 different messages. That's going to take forever. That's not going to happen. So send me a Ravelry message with your email address, letting me know if you're interested knowing when this pattern goes live. And I will send one email to a lot of people at one time, saving me hours of work. So, yeah. That's the Granny's Geraniums shawl, which I have planned to knit up in these 2 colorways as well. And when I do that, I will start that this weekend. I knit rather, fairly quick. So while I knit up this shawl, I will also film some segments to it, and I will upload a help video, seeing as this is not the regular shawl shape, knit the regular way. I will make a help video. I will not be making a tutorial on it. That would defeat the purpose of this being a shawl designed and released for, raising money for a cause. So it will only be a helpful video if there's any parts of the patterns I think you may need help with, like picking up stitches, placing the stitch markers, and stuff like that. So make sure to look for that as well. And the link for that video will also, of course, be included in the pattern. Since we're talking about knitting, before I go into the knit in progress, because there's only one, it's shamefully not finished yet. Anyway, I'm wearing, if you haven't seen this before, this is a Norwegian kofte. And again, if you're not familiar with the term kofte, it is a heavily stranded knitted garment for the top of the body. Either a jacket like this, a cardigan, or a sweater. Mostly used on cardigans like this. This is my favorite traditional Norwegian pattern. It's called the Setesdal kofte. I fell in love with this pattern, I think it was 1994 or 1995, and I was a wee little girl. Just a little shorter than I am today. And I didn't actually knit it for myself. I think it was last February. So it took a while. And I've been wearing the heck out of this. It is so full of pills and, you know, cat hair, and it's absolutely lovely. And, of course, as always, the details for this can be found on my project page on Ravelry, which is linked down below. Now for the knit in progress. I'm knitting this in lammeull from... I did it again! From Roma. From Roma. Roma, or Roma, as we say in Norway, is a Norwegian lamb's wool yarn. I'm having real problems today. The meterage per 50 grams is exceptional. I think this is a little softer knitting width on the hands than the Finul. And I have to say that I am a little bit ashamed having had this project on hold for 2 weeks. So I'm going to kick it up a notch and I'm going to finish it. It is, of course, my Vinterfjell yoke that I talked about in episode 1, 2, I don't know. I talked about it. I can't keep track of what I say in which episode. That's going to make me go crazy. I used 2 weeks because I had some troubles here. If you had seen the previous episode where I talked about this, you will know that I did do some mistakes on and frogged and realized it wasn't a mistake, so I put it on hold because, you know, temper. And I used 2 weeks on that. So this is what I did last night. These rounds of grey stockinette right here, and this morning while watching Good Morning Norway, which is our Good Morning show on TV, I knit this. And I'm using my progress keepers to keep track of the decreases under the arms. That way I don't have to count my stitches. I know how many stitches I have here, and I just, you know, 2 less every progress keeper. That's why they're there. And just for, you know, commercial sake, all these progress keepers are available in my Etsy shop, also linked down below. There's also some limited edition progress keepers in there, and if you want progress keepers, Christmas progress keepers for Christmas in July, I have Christmas progress keepers available for a limited time in the Etsy shop as well. So it weighs nothing because it's a very lightweight yarn. It's I would call this a very light fingering yarn, and yeah, I love it. I can't wait until this is finished. Sounds a little Christmassy in here because of all the Christmas, you know, of all the progress keepers. So that was the knitting for this episode. I'm just gonna put it away. Now for a little bit of crochet. So we had some bad news in the family. Again, going to come back to that later. And my mind just spaced out. So instead of knitting on the Vinterfjell or spinning up a whole lot of yarn or, you know, knitting, I decided I wanted to cast on a couple of crochet projects, because one of these I'm going to crochet on with the other scrap yarn blankets that I have in Christmas in July, well, for Vlogmas in July rather. And let's just, you know, I have this box with that, and I'm gonna do you the favor and not crinkle with all the plastic in here, because I have the yarns for each square in plastic bags, so that I can keep track of which yarn goes for what square. But while I talk about this project, I'm going to insert clips over the screen here so you can see them. This is fingering weight yarn. I'm using, I think it's 3.5 hook for this one, and for now, I'm just knitting the inside of the squares in the colors that you will be seeing on the screen. I am going to grab a few undyed sparkle yarn from Amelia. I'm going to pay for them, of course. Amelia hosts, if you're not aware, the Arctic Knitting Podcast, and dyes amazing Arctic yarns. And as the name indicates, she lives above the Arctic Circle, and she's very pissed at me for having moved down south to central Norway. Yeah, that's an ongoing joke about just between the two of us. We have a very sarcastic and ironic sense of humor, so in case you didn't get that, that was a joke. So yeah, I will crochet an undyed yarn border in sparkle yarn around each of these squares before I connect them. And they will become a Christmas blanket, a Christmas scrap yarn blanket. Yeah, I'm not going to go into detail what all the yarns are, and I don't know how big I will make these squares. I just know that they will be a blanket. That's all. I don't want to think about it. I want my brain to have a break. crochet in process number 2 is another granny square project. Another blanket. This one, however, I think I will make into a gift for someone. Just because, you know, even though I love all the blankets and I want all the blankets to myself, I don't think I will have room for them if I keep making blankets for myself only. So this will probably become a gift. Yeah. I haven't taken pictures of this yet, but I will, and I will insert it over here. For the other project, I have done the regular granny square, but for this blanket, and again, I don't know how big I'm gonna make these squares. I'm gonna use the blue bamboo ruggy yarn, which is a Swedish brand of sock yarn with bamboo in it, and I will use the blue yarn to make the borders around each. And this is actually a scrap yarn project from sock yarn that I've used, and I want 5 of this one as well. I have 5 for the first crochet blanket, 5 different squares, and I want 5 different squares for this one as well, keeping it interesting, you know, not making the same all the time. You know, you can vary it without actually varying it. That sounds weird. Anyway, this is the ramble episode. And I only had 4 that I felt that I wanted to use in this blanket. So in here is also a skein of opal yarn that I was gifted from a viewer. And I'm gonna make myself a pair of socks for that, probably in July or August, and I will use the scraps from that to crochet up square 5, the square 5 version. And yeah. Oh, probably you will have seen this already on the screen, but these are not open granny squares, they are solid granny squares. So they will eat up a little bit more yarn, which is quite okay, because this is not yarn that I think I want to put into swaps or anything. Okay, let's talk a little bit about drop spinning. This is a regular segment here in the podcast, it seems. I have fallen completely in love with spinning yarn, and yeah, I finished the spin in progress, if you will, that I showed you last time. This is 100 grams. Am I doing this again? Look at the yarn I made. I'm going to try and keep it in the frame this time, so there you have it. This fiber was gifted to me with the fiber that I'm, you know, for the that I'm going to show you after. She gifted me 200 grams of fiber, and this is 100 grams of... Well, I'm gonna guess that this is the sheep's name, Captain Poldarls or something. It's John Arbon Textiles fiber, and this is absolutely amazing. It's 80% organically farmed Falkland, Polwarth, and 10% merino blend. And yeah, it's a 2-ply fingering. And here are the tags of how many grams and how many meters are per tiny little hank. And I'm not going to go into those details. It's fingering weight, and it's 100 grams total. I will be making a Ravelry page on this, of course. So if you're very interested in knowing just how much meters this is, that's where you're going to find that info. Because I haven't added it up. I just, you know, wrote on and I taped it in and went on with my life. And then for the spin in progress, for this one I make 50 grams. Just gonna remove my hair, my DNA. For this one I'm making 50 gram. I can listen to that sound all day. I love the sound of that bird. Don't know the English word. We'll put it on the screen. I'm making 50 gram hanks for this one. 50 grams is as far as I feel comfortable stretching on a drop spindle, just because it's going to start being heavy on the arms and yeah. So this is Polwarth and silk. And it was 100 grams of fiber. I've spun up 50. Oh, also, I have set the twist in this, it's ready to go. This is 60% Polwarth, 25% brown Corriedale, and 15% silk. And the silk makes it I don't know. I guess it's drapey and floppy, like you would expect silk yarn to be. But it feels a little more stiff than I would expect it to. It's soft and it's wonderful, don't get me wrong, I just, Anyway, that was also gifted to me from Lorraine in the UK, and I'm now spinning it up. I have this left. And as always, I'm spinning it on my drop spindle from Spin City UK. Louise makes the most beautiful drop spindles, and like I said before, I want them all. Anyway, that's what it looks like on the drop spindle. I don't know if that's gonna focus, and I don't know, maybe I have like 40 grams left or something. It's so much softer here. I probably plied it too hard, or spun it too hard. Anyway, that's what that looks like. Spin in progress. Okay, so like I said in the previous episode, this time I was going to announce the 3,000 followers here on YouTube giveaway. We are over, well, you are more than 3,500 people subscribing to this channel now, and may I just say, thank heavens you're not here with me, because I would not be able to speak. I am an introvert, may not come across as one, and you will really have to know me for me to be like this around you. So if I ever go to, let's say, I'm hoping for next year to go to EYF, and if that happens and you see me there, I will probably be like, oh, hello, it's so nice to meet you, and inside I will like, oh my goodness, this is so weird. Back to the giveaway. Rambling. Seems to be the theme for this one. Since I am on a yarn shop stop, except for yarn for my designs, which I will be coming back to later, probably in July or August, I am designing new stranded colorwork designs. I haven't done that in a couple of years, and I really wanted to do it for a very long time, and it's about time. So the design is finished, I just need to knit them up and have tech editing and test knitters and stuff like that. So I ordered yarn for that. But since I'm on the yarn shop stop, I don't think I want to spend more money buying yarn for prices. And the stash has been destashed to a point where, well, I only have the yarn I want to have. So I'm gonna be selfish and keep that to myself. But I have some handspun that I think I'm comfortable giving away, because purple isn't really my color. I can't promise that it's going to be knot free and don't have kinks in there, because I've only been spinning for a year. But I would like to give this away to one of you, together with the Arctic Yarns Sarbemitten pin that I showed you last time, and probably some progress keepers and other goodies in there. So one of you will win this. This is spun from fiber from Spin City, again, beautiful Louise. It's the Sugar Plum Fairy colorway. I will probably do a video and insert over this, just because, you know, I tend to not be in the middle of the shot. It is 100 grams and 430 meters, so it is fingering. It's enough for a little shawlette or to put into a shawl. It's a 2-ply and it has sparkle in it. I do not know if you can see that here or in the video on that I covered this with. But yeah, so I don't remember the fiber blend, but I think it's a merino silk. Why have I not written that on here? Anyway, it's handspun and you can win it. By doing what? Well, obviously you need to be subscribed to the YouTube channel. It's a subscriber giveaway. So make sure that your subscribers list is open and public, so I can see that you are actually subscribed to this channel, because you know, we want to keep it fair. And I want you to comment down below answering 2 questions. How did you find my podcast? And what is your favorite Nordic Stitches YouTube moment? So answer 1, where did you find my podcast? 2, what is your favorite Nordic Stitches YouTube moment? drop it in a comment down below this video, and I will make sure to draw a winner for that in the next episode. Thank you for subscribing. I think that was it for this episode. It's been 2 weeks because, and this is where I go into the blather, that's life section for this podcast. If you want to see some outdoor footage of these storms we have had these past 2 weeks, you can jump to, timestamps down below. Anyway, before I show you the storm footage, I'm a storm nerd. I love being outside in a good windy storm. Before that, I just want to say thank you. Last week I chose to upload a 2-year clips video. It's a recap video. And just to specify, it's Nordic Stitches who's 2 years, not this YouTube channel. And 1st of July, it's 2 years since I released the first pattern. Anyway, I decided to upload that video instead, giving you... I'm podcasting here! I'm having a grocery girls moment. Hey bird, I'm podcasting here! I don't have any Georgia, so... Anyway, so I uploaded that video because I didn't have the brain space to podcast last week because we had some news that a very close family member have cancer. So I needed to reset my brain and just focus a little different. So that's why that video came last week, just so you had something to watch last weekend. Now that being said, when I posted this on Instagram, because Instagram is the place to follow me if you want updates like that, so thank you for all your messages and comments on well wishes on that fact. I just want to put that out there, that even though I didn't respond, I just pressed the heart icon. Thank you. And to the few friends whom I've talked about this with, just thank you. It's not serious yet, but we don't really know anything at this stage. I'm not going to tell you who it is. I'm not going to give you details. I just wanted to make sure that I said it, just so you know that in case there's a week there isn't an episode, you now know why. Yeah. I don't know what I've done to you. Really? Okay. Can you believe it? Yeah, I know. I know. Shh. Shh. Fly away. I'm podcasting. Oh my goodness. Anyway, thank you so much for watching, handling the bird chatter all around, and yeah, until the next video, thank you for watching. Make sure you hit the like button, click subscribe, stay tuned here and on Instagram, join the Nordic Stitches Ravelry Group, and whoever you are and wherever you are, be kind, be good, and have an exceptionally wonderful day. Bye. Would you please stop chattering? Hey? Hey? Oh my god. Kvitrer du til meg? Hæ? Å ja? Hva sier du da? First, some admin corner here in the morning. This design is a modular. It's not the regular shape. Crochet in project. That's a new crochet in project. Or crochet in process, rather. That bird is so pissed at me right now. What are you doing outside? Go back inside, human!